All right, welcome everybody to potentially the last This Week in Tech this year. We'll see. Um, if you guys want, I had a few people say that they were interested in maybe doing it next week. Actually, like there were even a couple people that were like, "Can we just do it every week over the summer?" I don't think I can do that. I think there's probably some school rules about like too much interaction with students over the summer, unless there's like an actual personal
Make like a
connection.
blog or something.
What?
You can make like a blog or something.
I could make a blog. I could just like not do it live and post it on YouTube, but I kind of don't think enough people would look at it to be worth that. But if you guys are interested, like legitimately, that you would watch it, let me know. But if you're like, it'd be cool, but I probably won't use it. Then you know, I'm not going to do that. But next week, there's an okay chance. Honestly, I have to work next week, and I don't know what we're going to be doing, so I might really want to at that point. All right, so Unreal Engine 5 was just announced. Unreal Engine is a game engine. We use Unity in game design. I heard last week that we might be starting to use Unreal next year. So this could be part of it. And I also heard that the computers we're getting are actually better than I originally heard from them. I don't know what graphics card they have, but I'm from the other specs, I'm hoping like a 2060 or 2070. So that'd be real nice. So I'm pretty sure next year we will be using Unreal and Unity. So that's good to know. But yeah, here we go. Unreal Engine 5. Here, let's see if we can. That's 1080p. That's good. I'm not going to show this whole thing. Obviously, there's a big interview after the gameplay footage, but we'll show some of the highlights of
Before
it.
we continue, let's stop a moment and take a look at some of the key features of this demo. Much of what you see was built with Quixel Megascan assets, but instead of using the game versions, we used the cinematic versions, which would typically only be used in film. There are around 1 million triangles each, and thanks to virtual texturing, they all use 8K
What
textures
was
as
that?
well. Nanite can render an insane number of triangles very quickly. There are over a
Okay,
billion.
so they're going to talk real quick. I'm going to skip around, so you're not going to get everything, but they're going to talk about two major things: nanite and I think lumens. Um, Nanite is this thing that scans geometry on things, and so it's like ridiculously in depth. You can have like crazy amounts of triangles, which like every single surface is a triangle. So you can have like billions and billions of those surfaces, so you can get really crazy detail levels. So that's what nanite is. Unreal has been used in games and in like film and TV production. Uh, like let's see, Mandalorian. Every single background in that entire show is made in Unreal. I think like Jungle Book. I think maybe Lion King. Everything was made in Unreal. Um, so like Unreal, the cinematic version can look really amazing, and the game version has always looked really nice too. But with Unreal Engine 5, it seems like they're a lot more merged. They've been able to run it pretty seamlessly. Your 2060 might be okay because this is running on a
Billion
PS5.
triangles of source geometry in each
So
frame that Nanite crunches down losslessly to around 20 million drawn triangles.
20 million drawn
What does
triangles
that
in
many
this,
triangles look like? This
like
isn't
that.
noise.
Those are
These are
all
the triangles,
triangles.
each a different color. Most are so small that they look like noise. Nanite achieves
Let's
detail
see.
down to the
We're
pixel,
going to skip a
which
little
means
bit.
triangles are
Actually,
often the size of
they're going to show
pixels.
off this lighting here in a
This
second
amount of
too.
geometric detail requires shadows to be pixel accurate as well, and Nanite can do that too.
Uh, yeah, they're about to do it.
Speaking of lighting, all of the lighting in this demo is completely dynamic, with the power of Lumen that even includes multi-bounce global illumination.
So
No
Lumen
light
is
maps,
their
no baking here.
lighting engine.
Without GI, all of that beautiful lighting is gone. With Lumen enabled, we can move the light and the bounce changes instantly.
So you'll see like when they move the light, everything else is being affected by that. So like not just where the light shines, but like where that light is being refracted to is lighting up all the other surfaces on the entire. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's like ray
Okay, let's keep
tracing.
going.
That's NVIDIA's technology, but this is Unreal's. So yeah, let's skip a little bit. I'm trying to find some cool looking spots. Some really awesome detail. Here, she turns on a light
This
here.
statue
Oh
is
wait,
imported to-
yeah. Let's watch this statue.
Lumen not only reacts to moving light sources, but also changes in geometry. Remember we mentioned high poly assets? This statue was imported directly from ZBrush and is more than 33 million triangles. No baking of normal maps, no authored LODs.
So that's actual geometry. Every little nook and cranny isn't just some like texture made to look like it has depth. This has actual depth, and it's made of millions of triangles.
And we can do more than a single statue. There are nearly 500 of that exact statue at the same detail level placed in this room, for a total of over 16 billion triangles from statues alone. Over this entire demo, there are hundreds of billions of triangles.
Yep, it's pretty crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna skip ahead just a little bit. They're about to do like the little outside world demo. You'll see what it looks like not in an enclosed environment. A big open world.
All the way to the horizon.
The portal, it's open. Don't fail me now.
I'll also say again, this is not a real game. This is a tech demo. But it's running in real time, in engine, and on a PlayStation 5. So this is the first footage of any PlayStation 5 game, which means that this will probably run like this on Xbox Series X, because they have really similar techs or tech specs.
It's time to see.
So there
what's
you go.
next.
That is Unreal Engine 5. Boom. Super cool. So, just to let you guys know, this is a thing that's going on this summer. Instead of like E3 and a bunch of different game events, there's a series of like Polygon and I think IGN have their own versions of this. But the Game Awards is doing what is it called? Summer Game Fest. Summer Game Fest. So Jeff Keighley runs that, and they announced another thing that I'll show later on. So that's how to find new game news this summer. So there you go. Unreal Engine 5. I'm going to do one more quick thing before I switch to OBS, or I'm going to switch to my face cam a little bit because I want you guys to hear this. We went over this briefly a few weeks ago, but here is a song. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Made entirely out of AI. So they fed this AI a bunch of different songs and lyrics, and this is what it came up with. Just thought it was interesting. It's a little weird, as you might expect. It's like almost like a human would write it, but not quite.
I'm lost when I'm with you. There's no hesitation in your eyes.
Baby, bye, bye, bye. Oh, bye, bye, bye. Baby, by myself. The stain grows more obvious.
In this dream of the bird who's flying over roses of sadness.
Baby, bye, bye, bye.
So, hold on. Let's just get to the chorus here real quick. Always have wet eyes.
Eyes that cry, but I'll survive on the mission. I will let you go forever. Blue jeans and bloody tears. Blue jeans and bloody
there you go.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think it's really interesting how we're able to combine technology and art, and a lot of AI driven songs are being made recently. And just this one actually went to Eurovision, which is a huge European music like or not competition but show every year. So super weird. Uh-huh. It is kind of a huge rabbit hole, Emily. You make a good point. When robots try to write, it's super interesting. AI is the weirdest. Like there's books written by AI that are nonsensical, but it almost makes sense while you're reading it. But then you realize that what you're actually reading just doesn't go anywhere or do anything. So yeah, AI. I'm gonna switch to my other screen. So I'm going to stop streaming real quick and I'm going to switch over. There we go. All right. Welcome back. So the rest of this this week in tech is going to be relatively short. We just have a few major things to get, and then most of this is like gaming news, and it's going to be real fast. Thunder Spy. Has anyone heard of Thunder Spy? I don't think so.
I have.
You have. Do you know what Thunder Spy is?
It's like a little spying thing, but it's with electricity.
It does technically use electricity, Zachy. You're right in that. So Thunderbolt. What's Thunderbolt? Can someone tell me what Thunderbolt is, at least?
It's a bolt of lightning.
That is one thing, but when it comes to computers,
Electricity.
yeah. So Thunderbolt ports can I'll use a lot in Mac, but also in a lot of PC connections. They are really high bandwidth, so that they can send a ton of information super quickly. So a lot of PCs use them somewhere in there, like set up GPUs or like different components in the PC itself. Well, there's a major weakness to it, and a person made basically a way to bypass all Thunderbolt security. And it was like making the waves last week about this horrible thing, Thunder Spy, that could basically, without you knowing it all, just completely change the firmware of your computer using Thunderbolt. But it turns out that in order for this to actually work, somebody has to gain access to your PC. They have to open it up. They have to physically attach a thing that goes in and gets rid of security, and then they have to upload a bunch of malware. So chances are, unless you leave your laptop unattended out in public for like 10 minutes or more, a lot, you'll never be affected by this. But it was like a huge deal last week. A bunch of people were nervous that this could be a horrible, horrible weakness. It's not. Because like it takes more than 5 minutes just to upload Thunder Spy onto the computer and have it work, and then you have to put a bunch of other stuff on there as well. But here's one, probably not going to affect you guys. I don't think too many people use Wink Smart Hub around here, but it's another one of those situations where be careful. The services you buy or the specific this is an actual piece of hardware. Wink Smart Hub is a system that connects all of your smart devices. If you have a smart home, you have like lights and sensors and Google Homes or Echoes, all kinds of things together, TVs, outlets. It connects all of them and you can control all of them through one device, which is really nice if you have like lights made by Philips and Google Home, and maybe you have an Echo in another room, that kind of stuff. So it is really nice. It connects everything so you can just use one thing. You don't have to constantly switch between different apps or devices. Problem is that 1 week ago, they said they basically said, if you want to keep using us, this physical piece of hardware you bought, you have to start paying us a monthly subscription fee. So you bought it, and now you can't use it. and people were understandably very upset. The people who make this are saying we've been hit hard by the current crisis we're in, and also the fact that we don't sell data like a lot of other companies do. So we're not making money that way, and we need to make money somehow, which makes sense. But there are there are other ways that other companies have done this in the past. Um, they've done things like making a premium tier, or really hitting that like donation hard, like marketing for donations a lot. Um, those sorts of things. Unfortunately, Wink has just decided, hey, you have a week and then you have to start paying us, or you lose access to everything. Very unepic. Um, so I'm sure they're going to lose a lot of customers this way, and it probably isn't going to work for them. Um, Usually, this sort of move doesn't work in the long term. Maybe they'll get some subscriptions to keep them going. I don't know. So, if you're into engineering, there's a plan for two very, very light race cars that are going to be on the moon in 2021, and they're having a competition right now open to high schoolers to design little remote control cars that are made for moon travel. And you can enter if you would like, if you're into engineering, if you know people you'd like to do this with. I know some people in like Lakota Robotics who this could be kind of interesting for them. Engineering, you don't have to make it, but it's just designing it. I don't know if that would mean programming how it would move around and control, but you guys can check it out. Register for free if you're interested. You have until May 22nd to register. So, I don't know. All right, we'll talk about Google. For like, I think this might be the third or fourth time I've had almost this article pop up. But wow, Google is trying to unify all their different messengers. At one point, I think we talked about they've had like 11 different messengers. Right now, they have 6. They have chat, meet, duo, voice, hangouts, and messages. They all do kind of different things, but they're all really similar, and they all could just be one app, and they aren't. And they've been saying we're going to try to unify this for years now, and they haven't. But now, big news, they have one person. What is his name? Javier Soltero. He is going to be running all of the apps in this division. So for like finally there's going to hopefully be a unified vision because one person is actually running all this. So we might actually get a really good competitor to iMessage or all the different messaging apps that Google has kind of failed to do so far. So we'll see in a year or two. Maybe good things will happen from Google. Speaking of, Google I/O was supposed to be like yesterday, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. Google I/O is their big yearly show. Clearly, it's not happening right now. It's now digital, virtual, and it's been pushed to June 3rd. So hopefully, and it's been called the Android 11 beta launch show. So clearly, Android 11 is coming out, and it's probably gonna have all the big Google updates. So either the new Pixel 4a is going to be announced before then, and it will be available then, or it'll be announced then and probably come out that same day. There you go. If you are interested in Google tech news, June 3rd. It's the summer and you're not allowed to go outside, so you could do that. That's fun. This isn't like recent news, but Windows 10X is a thing. It's a version of Windows 10 operating system that is, I don't think it's out yet, although Windows just announced a bunch of Surface devices, so it probably would be. But this is actually really cool. Windows 10X is specifically designed for dual screen devices like this one. But the way it works is really interesting for future versions of Windows 10 or Windows 11 or whatever they decide to go to next. So it runs Windows software just like Windows does. But what it does is it runs things in containers. That might not mean anything to you, and that's okay. So basically, here's a quick visual rundown of what that means. All normal Windows software will be in one container. It's Win32. That's what normal Windows software is. So if you're running like 4 different pieces of software, it'll all be running in one container. Everything within that container is contained. If a thing crashes, it cannot crash your system. It only crashes that container. And then different apps being made have their own containers. So if that app crashes, it cannot crash your operating system. It only crashes that container. And then the operating system is its own thing. So, and it can only, like, these containers can only go to the operating system to see things. So basically, for the most part, like blue screens of death from software issues might be a thing of the past. Because they technically cannot affect the operating system. So if something horrible were to happen to one of your pieces of software, it shouldn't be able to actually crash your system, which is actually like a huge step forward. And I really hope this comes to this sort of compatibility comes to Windows 10 in like each of these can have their own containers, but we'll see. Just thought that was kind of interesting. I read about it this week. Yeah, right. Speaking of Microsoft, we're going to talk about actually let's move this over here. Games now. All games. The rest of this is all games. So Microsoft shows off 13 launch window games for Xbox Series X. This was like last week. Did they show off any gameplay though? I don't think they did. It's all good. All good to take practice tests for ACT. But they had a bunch of like games in engine running. They look really good, but they're not actual gameplay. So I don't know. And it was a bunch of like third-party games. So like you didn't get to see Halo or any of like the really big things. But yeah, they have a bunch of games. Yay! There you go. Look at how good those games look. They look good. I don't know. They look pretty good. Boom. So we have Yakuza. I think isn't that Yakuza? Yep, Like a Dragon. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. What they called it a gameplay trailer, but it wasn't actually a gameplay trailer. It was just in engine. It looked really good. But we have a little thing about that too. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So yeah, they had an event, first game, technically in-engine gameplay for Xbox Series X. They keep saying it's going to be the jump that we had from 2D gaming to 3D gaming. I don't think it's quite that, but it does look really nice. It looks like PC gaming. You don't see anything? Isaac, did you like double click and go to my stream, or are you just listening? That could be the problem. Like you have to join my like stream.
He seems to be on phone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can still join streams though. All right. So yeah, that happened. Microsoft, everyone was disappointed apparently because there wasn't actual gameplay really for the most part. But that happened. So here, let's talk about Corona and its effect on gaming. And this is going to be a thing that you're going to find in the next couple years in movies, TV, gaming, probably hardware. Things that are coming out the rest of this year probably aren't going to be affected too much. But things coming out next year, the year after that, it's going to be a little less than normal probably. Or things are going to have a longer development time. Phil Spencer said that it's not going to affect the launch window of Xbox Series X. Those are pretty much at a point where if you need to work from home, you can. But things that still need like voice talent or like voice talent on a large scale or like sound work, like big bands, symphonies, or like mocap. Mocap needs a studio. You can't just do it right now because you're at home. You can't do a big symphony right now very easily or not at least to the same quality, because a symphony can't get together and all perform. So things are going to be pushed back because of those sorts of things. Most things that are coming out this year shouldn't be affected by that, but things that are coming out in the next couple of years are going to be pushed back a little bit. That being said, Sony says, no, that's not going to happen at all. So I don't know who to believe anymore. They said the same thing as Xbox, though, as Microsoft, that there should be no major issues for PlayStation 5 coming out this holiday. Nothing around the major like releases coming out with that. But they also aren't giving their like projections for that quarter, which basically means they're saying that things aren't going to be affected, but they're not going to like try to say, oh no, everything's going to be great still. Numbers are still going to be like here when they could be lower than expected. So we'll see. But we just saw PlayStation 5 footage for the first time and it looked really good. So that's good. But yeah, that's Unreal. So that should be pretty much everywhere. And some people came here late. Definitely make sure you guys check out this Unreal Engine 5 reveal. It's really cool. Elder Scrolls 6 is years away. That's a real fact. People higher ups in Bethesda were asked recently about like what news do you have for Elder Scrolls, and they're like, I don't know. Like we're not at that point yet. Ask me. Yeah, it is closer. Ask me in 2 years. Ask me again in 2022. Right now we're focusing on Starfield. So ask about it again in 2022, which basically means it's at least like 3-4 years at least away. But what that does mean is he's saying ask again in a couple years. We're working on Starfield right now. So that means Starfield, this huge thing that was unveiled like forever ago that only has like this footage that you guys can't probably hear right now. Look at that. That's it. That's all they have there. That thing, Starfield. That's it. But that means that we're probably going to hear about Starfield really soon. Bethesda was supposed to go to E3 this year. Now it's canceled. Why would they go to E3? Do they have Elder Scrolls Online or Fallout 76 content? Maybe. But chances are they have a big announcement. So keep an eye out for big announcement that's going to happen at some point. Probably Starfield is happening. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have faith in Bethesda. But okay, I know people were excited about this. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is coming out. Everyone's like, well, I don't like the RPG style, or I love the RPG style, whatever. It looks like they're saying that the RPG style is staying, but the old style is like going to be kind of mixed in. You're going to have some of those like stealth stuff that you could do in the old games that you couldn't do in the last two. So hopefully it'll be a really cool combo of the two, but we haven't seen actual gameplay yet, so I don't know. I just know that people really love their Assassin's Creed. Thank you. Thank you. So, Tony Hawk. Has anyone ever played a Tony Hawk game?
Who's that? Isn't he the guy who died recently and the guy who made the theory
Nope.
on Big Bang?
He is very much alive still.
He's a skateboarder. What?
Yep, he is a skateboarder. He is a skater. Here is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 right here. This game I played I'm pretty sure this is 2. I don't remember. It's been a little while. But they're remastering it. And it actually looks pretty legit. Like they have the really janky animations and stuff. They like been able to figure out how to kind of make it work. Like it's still the same old engine, but I mean, it looks pretty good. There's a huge difference between what it used to look like. There's going to be split screen multiplayer. What? Have you guys ever played a game that's split screen multiplayer? That's been gone for a little while. I knew you guys wouldn't care about this, but man, this is like my childhood that they're remaking. Look at this stuff. It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is one package too. Oh man, this made skateboarding cool. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2 and 3 had split screen. That's true. I remembered that. There you go. That was a huge announcement like a few days ago. So, I mean, there you go. That's gaming news. This one, you should definitely check out Summer Game Fest for more news. I'm not trying to like plug that one, but that's the one that I really know of. That's like a constant thing. Um, there's going to be a lot of gaming news this summer, I think, and a lot of people are playing a lot of games now. So I know it's a big deal. But yeah, that's all I have for. Make sure before you leave, though, make sure if you haven't spoken in chat, do that. Write down, type something in chat. Make sure I know you were here. There we go. E. Does anyone have any questions about what we covered, or I mean, like anything at all to add to this? I'm gonna say bye to the recording so people who are seeing this later. See you guys.